Welcome back, everyone. J Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, it's been a few days, almost a week since I've been on here. Um, Had to take a little time off and just give myself a break, but I wanted to come back with something unique and something special. Something I did watch over the weekend, of course, is what we are going to review this evening, and that is Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, starring Batista, amongst many others that we're going to talk about. But before we dive into this insane movie, just want to remind you all to smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. If you're in the Twitch, you can share bits, you can sub, you can do all that lovely stuff. And a new way to help support the cast is the first link in the description, buymeacoffee.com /smash this pod, amongst all the other great links in the description to follow on the socials. Last but certainly not least, for plugs, now through the 28th, a special Memorial Day sale for Smash This Podcast. We got 20% off merch. We got tanks, t-shirts, mugs, hats, bandanas, buttons, all that lovely stuff. So head on to that link in the description. Get yourself off 20% off. That's a pretty good deal if you're asking me. Now, if you like zombie flicks, and I'm assuming most of you do if you're watching this, and especially with the year that Zack Snyder is having with HBO Max, he already hit one out of the park, in my professional podcasting opinion, with the Justice League movie, the Zack Snyder cut. Man, I heard about this a couple years ago when it was all the way in pre-production, and heard that Batista was cast in a zombie movie, and at that time I didn't really know who Zack Snyder was, didn't really care. Just the fact that it was going to be Batista versus zombies on Netflix, and I was like, oh, well, that certainly is interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out when it arrives here. Yeah, exactly. Um, was very, very excited about that. And Batista was one of my favorites, honestly, in the ruthless aggression era, as far as wrestlers that came out of the early 2000s. So and I haven't been thrilled with some of his latter runs towards his retirement, but I gotta say that I've watched a few of his movies, especially his Marvel content. I've enjoyed. I will say that, and so he has done some different stuff in the way of movies, but I've always thought of him as, like, this big badass character. So I was very excited to see this, and it finally came. We got the trailers, and that just made me even more excited for this when it came out. So let's go in order. I made a couple notes here. Let's talk about a few different things here. What came out first on social media, namely YouTube. I don't know if he dropped it anywhere else, like Facebook or Twitter or anything, but they dropped the first 15 minutes of this movie, Army of the Dead, on YouTube. And that right there, just the first 15 minutes, which included the opening title sequence, you knew you were in for something different and special as far as zombies. Because let's be honest, if you're a zombie, if you watch stuff with zombies and that's one of your things that's your go-to, whether good or bad movies, and it's all a matter of opinion. Whether it's some rated F, something that looks like it cost about $1,000 to make, all the way up to something like this, which cost millions and millions and millions of dollars, with special effects, CGI, and everything, all the way to characters getting added in post production because other people got taken out of the movie completely, which is just mind blowing. Um, so what we got in the first 15 minutes, and I was this close to reviewing it, but I was like, no, I'll just wait till the whole thing comes out. We'll cover everything. So the first thing we see is this military leaving. What we find is, and I don't think they really come out and say this. I'll have to watch it again because I've watched it twice already. But I don't think they really come out and say Area 51. But it's a military unit, and they've got, the payload, whatever they call it. What we find out then is, patient, what we assume is patient zero. And knowing it's a zombie movie, it's not just something contained gets let loose in society, which is how a lot of zombie movies start. Something gets leaked, some military thing, hence starting the apocalypse. This is that, plus it just opens up a whole new universe. Zack Snyder has unleashed something, and we don't even know what we all have with this yet. That's the best part of this. This is just the start of a whole new zombie-related universe. There are aliens. And by the way, this is going to be full of spoilers, and I apologize for putting this here now, but you are going to get. I'm not going to tell you every nook and cranny of the movie, but we are going to talk about some spoilers. Okay, so fair warning right now. You see, as the military people are leaving this base, you see lights up in the sky. One goes straight up, one zigs off the screen another direction. So that right there tells you, oh, we're not just dealing with military slash zombies. This is completely different. Now, the reveal of Zeus is great, but we get before that, the couple that just got married. Oh, the couple that gets married and they're driving, and the driver's getting a wedding gift in the front seat, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, as he's driving. And he completely loses track of everything, which most guys would. The convoy hitting this car throws the payload off the trailer, therefore releasing the beast inside the container, the container, which we then find is an absolutely crazy fast zombie that just kills 5 guys in the first 2 minutes, or 2 seconds, I should say. And then the guy in the truck in the ditch, they realize how much trouble they're in. They try to escape. to no avail. So with what we find out is this patient zero or zombie leader, whatever you want to classify him as. His name is Zeus in the movie. He's got dog tags on. So that tells me that this is a combination of some kind of like military experiment mixed with an alien species or something they got from the aliens. Um, Something like that. This is something well beyond what we're used to seeing in zombie movies. Um, and even with something like The Walking Dead, where was it? Greg Nicotero came out years later and said, "Oh yeah, this was all because of aliens." Didn't go into details. I don't think it's ever been revealed. And who knows? We might get something in the last season of The Walking Dead, which will be nice, whether it's good or bad. As far as if we do get a reveal. Um, how the whole shebang started, which would be nice to finish the series, but who knows what we'll get. This is still just the tip of the iceberg as far as what we're going to find out about this. So Zeus is set free, kills the soldiers, turns some of the soldiers, and then we see him looking on a hill across Vegas. Cue the title sequence, starting with a Liberace imitator, which right there is it just lightens the moment for such a brief moment, because that first 15 minutes is pretty intense, especially when Zeus is set free and you're like, oh my god, what's happening? Cue the corny Vegas cover music, Vegas style music, as we see a slow-mo of zombies being just running wild through Vegas. Zeus slowly just walking through Vegas, looking around him, seeing what he's created, and then going up to the Olympus and seeing Zeus, and then realizing what he's, there's something with these alpha zombies that is so unique, and I don't think we even know everything yet, because there's so much to unload what we find out in this movie. But that's the first 15 minutes. It's absolutely loaded. And then also during the title sequence, we see our cast of characters fighting during the what is the the Vegas zombie apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. And we see Batista, we see Vanderhoof, among others, and it's the slow mo, how everything is shot and revealed. That end of that title sequence is it's not pretty. No, it's not pretty, because we see some of the people that were apparently close to Batista and his team fighting. The one who is, we end up realizing, is like the soccer mom looking for the daughter. They're finally reunited, only to be killed at the end of the title sequence. So right there, you're in for a unique ride as far as a zombie movie. So that first 15 minutes is just loaded. Now, the first, I'd say 50 minutes of the movie is a lot unpack, and we're not going to talk about all 50 minutes. Basically, if you split this up into two parts, besides the first 15 minutes, the first 50 minutes is all cast. Um, you see who your cast of character is. It's it's very much a la. Now I know I'm dating myself a little here, but if you've ever seen the Dirty Dozen, where they assemble the team, and find out what the mission is, and you kind of figure out what each character is like a little bit, some traits, whether you think you're going to like them, whether you think they're not going to be likable. You see that a lot in this first 50 minutes. Batista, who we find out is some military specialist type of guy who lost his wife because he had to kill her. We got Vanderho, which has one of the most badass zombie killing weapons I've ever seen, with that saw, which it's just even 10 times more intense when it's all done in slow-mo and the blood's going everywhere. Tig Notaro, the helicopter pilot. Now it's interesting when you first see this, I don't notice this, but in seeing a bunch of like movies and behind the scenes stuff, you realize that Tig's character was put in post production because someone else got taken out, and it's so well done in my opinion. Unless you're looking for it, you can't tell that it's all separate. I think Zach and his crew did a great job here of adding Tig in post production. Just crazy. Dave Batista, of course, the father of, he plays Scott Ward. He's the father of Kate Ward, and they have a very awkward relationship because, there's a divorce that happened, it sounded like, and plus Dave had to, kill his wife. The safecracker, Ludwig Dieter, this character, oh my goodness. If one of the lighter, let's say, comedic characters in the movie that really just the way he reacts to the zombies and the way he questions things going on around him, because he is so not ready for what is going to happen here. And he ends up, becoming a bit of a badass towards the end of the movie and actually killing some zombies. Still awkward as hell, though, but tremendous character. We'll get into more of his stuff later. Now, one of the more unique characters that I was really looking forward to here is Garrett Dillahunt playing Martin. Martin is Tanaka, the guy who sends this crew on this heist to get his money back. And Martin seems like he's kind of a military, maybe a former military specialist himself, but he's the head of, what is it? Security detail, whatever he calls himself. He goes along, but we find out about halfway through the movie, he's got his own mission that he's doing for Tanaka, completely aside from the rest of the crew. And I'm a big fan of Fear the Walking Dead, and his character in that series literally just got killed off. There's another major spoiler for you. I warned you. these so I was very curious to see what he was going to do in this movie. Completely 100-degree different character. You end up hating this character, like not even partway into the movie, because he's a snot. He's a total snot, chauvinistic pig. And then finding out later how much he screws the crew, just unbelievable. And he's got his own mission, like I said. Um, and the other characters like Guzman, fun. Theo Rossi's character, Burt Cummings, the the sacrificial lamb, if you will. Um, so many good characters. Like, they're just all over the place. Some are badass, some are just a little bit goofy. Because I mean, this is an absolute thrill ride, folks. And not everybody can be just a brutal badass. You got to have those characters in a movie like this to lighten the mood a little bit, because otherwise you can't spend the whole movie up here. Otherwise, you're gonna have a stroke. So that's your cast of characters in a nutshell. Now, this is a zombie movie. It's a heist movie, but it's also majorly a zombie movie. So let's talk about some of the different zombies we experience in here. Number one, Zeus. There's something so unique about Zeus. He's not just a zombie. There's some deep diving that has to be done here. Number one, how fast he is. Now, we've seen fast zombies before in other movies, like like 27 Days Later. Those kind of running zombies. We've seen the running zombies in World War Z. Then those even climb on top of each other to climb walls. Now, these zombies aren't quite that insane. These are fast, but we have not seen like that many zombies in this movie where that many alphas are collected together where they're climbing walls and stuff like that. We've only seen like I'd say several dozen at a time, maybe 100 max. Yes, Zach in the chat. Look at this group at 12:30 a.m. on a Thursday, right? Thanks guys for joining. If you're watching this live, I appreciate it. I know it's late. Better late than never, though, right? So you've got the alpha zombies, okay? Very fast. And it seems like if you get bit by the king, Zeus, you become an alpha. Not sure if all alphas creating people make alphas. Not sure about that one yet. As far as I know, it could just be if Zeus bites you. Now, there's the slow zombies, just the regular zombies that they're just, what are they called in the movie? Shamblers, and we've seen those in several different kinds of movies, TV series, from the Walking Dead, any of George Romero's flicks. So those are nothing new. We've seen those before. Now, something unique that we're experiencing in this movie. Now, I'm sure some people saw this. Zach Bonifer in the chat. So far, you mentioned Tanaka, Zeus, cast of characters, Alpha. I need a bell for every wrestling term used. I'm trying to stay away from wrestling terms because this is, besides Batista, this is there's really no wrestling in here. Um, Batista really doesn't even use any wrestling moves in the movie, and that's sometimes what we look for as wrestling fans, right? We watch for the body slam or the suplex, there was really nothing, none of that in here. Obviously, fighting sequences, but no real wrestling, unless you count punching, but whatever. Um, so, but now one unique thing that some people did catch, little what do they call those little Easter eggs throughout the movie? There's a couple zombies that we see by Zeus's side, part of the Alpha. You call this the Alpha Club, I guess. The Alphas. Um, some of them have glowing blue eyes. Not sure why they have glowing blue eyes. Is it because of the the chemicals that are in them that got transferred from the bites from other alphas? One thing that people have noticed is that when some of these are killed, you noticed shiny metal parts of their skull exposed after getting shot in the head, as in their like Terminators or like robot zombies. Why are there robot zombies? We don't know. That is not revealed. Zack Snyder has talked about this though in a few of his interviews. So he's not ignoring this. Um, but no, we're getting a few different movies out of this, plus an animated Netflix series called Army of the Dead Lost Vegas. So I think we're going to get some reveals why we got a few robot zombies in the movie with glowing blue eyes, those sexy blue eyes. Uh, um, we have zombie animals in this movie. Now, that's not something that we've seen every day in um, zombie movies. We've seen that a couple times before. Like, I think there were dogs in Resident Evil, and there's obviously, big weird monsters in Resident Evil and stuff like that. But it's not something you see in every zombie universe, movie, series, whatever. It's unique. It's not all the time. We got, are you ready for this, folks? This is crazy. I had to find the coolest picture of this one and just quick share it with you guys. Hopefully, this doesn't get taken down because of this. But we have, your drum roll, we have a goddamn zombie tiger. Is that crazy or what? Just unbelievable. That is one of the most badass parts of this movie. Now, along with that, now I didn't get a clip of this. We've got when Zeus is riding through town and he's trying to get around. Now he's not driving around this apocalyptic version of Las Vegas. Las Vegas, excuse me. Call it Las Vegas. It is lost. They're all lost. He's got a horse he's riding, and it's a zombie horse. If you watch the making of it's just a quick, I think, half-hour section where they do some of the behind-the-scenes stuff for this, and it's on, some of it's shared on YouTube, portions of it, and then there's also stuff excuse me, on on Netflix, YouTube, wherever, and they show. I mean, the tiger's all CG, and you could tell it's CG, but it's well done in my opinion. It's very well done. Now the horse is real. You're like, well, how the hell did they get a real zombie horse? They actually had a suit made in pieces that they put on an actual horse so that it looks like there's parts of skin hanging off and veins and stuff, and you got a gnarled head. But I just think that's amazing how they make this horse look like a zombie horse, and it's all gnarly looking, but it's slick. It's really slick. And it's unique. I've never seen anything like that. So, and they go out of their way to say at the end, of course, that no animals were harmed, wink, wink, in the making of this movie. But I just thought that was amazing. Something that just creates a whole new level of just questioning, how Zeus came to be in this universe. Is just wild. Now, not only do we have a zombie tiger that apparently listens to Zeus, a zombie horse, Zeus has a queen. Now, here's my first question after watching this movie twice is we see the queen in this movie and we see how they interact, how the king and the queen, Zeus and the queen, interact with each other. And you can tell that there is an attraction there. As gnarly as that may be, as weird as that may be in a post-apocalyptic Las Vegas. A zombie attraction between one another. And after watching this a couple times, you realize partway through the movie is not only does the king have a queen, the king is getting it on with the queen. Now that is some weird shit right there. That is some weird Zack Snyder universe zombie shit right there. Zombies getting it on. Because we see Zeus celebrating the fact that he realizes that his queen is pregnant, and when the queen is killed later, we see the reveal of the baby later. And it gets heavy here, folks. Zack Snyder has figured out how to get you emotionally involved in a movie where you're like usually hating the zombies to a point where you are feeling sympathy to the zombies because, number one, Zeus loses his queen and he also loses a child, which just infuriates Zeus, sets his whole alpha tribe after this group. And I'm not going to talk about how that all goes down. But just watching this all unfold takes you from you're rooting this team on to, oh, this team is just fucked. This team is just screwed. There's no way this team's getting out of here now because of said incidents that happened. Zach, you're a maniac. He says that relationship is a dead issue. ... Just like Trent's marriage. See, yeah. For those watching this because you're a movie fan, you're not going to get that joke. You have to be following along with the other wrestling podcasts that I do along with that. But anyways, back to the movie. So we got robot zombies, we got alpha zombies, we got shamblers, just your regular slow zombies. We got zombie tigers, we got zombie horses. I mean, this whole new zombie universe that Zack Snyder has created, and we don't even know how half of these are happening, especially like the unique things like the zombie. Like, why are the zombie robots there? We have to wait for the prequels and the other parts of this series to happen, and maybe even sequels. Um, Now let's talk about the soundtrack just for a little bit. That is one thing that is great about this movie is the soundtrack, from the quirky beginning in the title sequence to uh, Doors, This Is the End, uh, being played here, Cranberries, Zombie, along with some other stuff that's played. One comedic moment that kind of brings you down from a very intense battle with zombies. uh, Coyote and Scott Ward, Batista's character, escape into an elevator. As the door closes, the lights go on, along with the elevator music, which is Boy George's uh, Do You Really Want to what is that? Do you really want to? Do you really want to hurt me? Which is, it just, it just, you breathe after crazy, zombie fight scene in a casino, and then you get a comedic little soundtrack moment. So there's parts of this soundtrack that are just great. I was trying to find a list on Spotify. Someone created some kind of soundtrack list. I'm going to check it out more in depth and maybe make a list of my own for this. So, good soundtrack. Let's see. Hey, Bell's Boys in the chat. What's up? What else here? So yeah, this whole new Zack Snyder zombie universe is just, I mean, the heist is fun, getting to the casino. Are they going to get the money? Leaving Las Vegas, a very intense scene there in the helicopter as it leaves, because then you're like, oh shoot, the the Alpha has just left Las Vegas, only to get his head blown off by Batista. But unfortunately, Batista doesn't make it through this movie, which I'm guessing upset a lot of fans, especially if you're a wrestling fan like me that watches specifically because of Batista, versus the Dead. The fact that he doesn't make it out of this movie is upsetting. Now, the ending with Vanderhoe's character realizing he's bit and he's in the plane with what I'm guessing is millions of dollars or whatever he could carry. Bell's Boy singing in the chat. Boy George must be a Boy George fan. Funny. Culture Club. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name of the band. My bad. So the end is a bit of a chuckle as well, because it's like, oh, he's the one guy that survived all this only to be bitten. But see, that's the thing it's the one thing that's going to help create the sequel. Is, okay, he's on his way to Vegas. Is the plane going to crash? Is it actually going to land? Is he going to turn in the plane? Is he going to turn after it lands? We don't know. We don't know. We have to wait for that sequel. The other thing that we have to wait for, and the one thing I didn't mention and I did want to, is as far as creating this universe, this isn't just aliens and zombies and zombie tigers and horses and alpha zombies who apparently can get it on with the queen and Zeus. If you notice from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, is actually growing hair, which begs a question: how dead is he really if he can still create life and grow his hair? So he's also evolving throughout the years. Crazy. Zach Bonifer, once bitten, twice shy. Yeah, it's a lovely, great white song there. Love that one. You guys correct me up. But one thing that they do bring up that I think may play a part in this, whether it's part of the prequels or the sequels, is time travel. When they get down to the basement and they find the vault, they find the safe, excuse me, they find a bunch of what looks like dead soldiers, and they're all wearing the clothes that this whole crew is wearing. You see, but one that looks like he's wearing Batista stuff. You see one that looks like it's got like a blue Hawaiian shirt, Tig's character, along with a couple others that are like noticeably, with the headband and whatever. It looks like it's, and he's the one that says, are they in a time loop? Like there's another version of this same crew that only got so far. And Tanaka is just creating another opportunity for the same group in another timeline to get this money. Because Tanaka's actually working with the military. So what else are they cooking up besides just trying to get the blood of the alphas to create their own army for money? Don't tell me that time travel, if you're going to talk about all this stuff that I've talked about in this last half hour, 45 minutes, don't tell me that time travel isn't possible here. It absolutely is possible, which then bears the question, who is actually going to, who are we going to see in the sequel? I mean, we'll see everyone in the prequel. What's great is the safe cracker, Ludwig Dieter. He's getting his own prequel movie showing his involvement into his own it's his own heist prequel of him and a team breaking into safes, vaults, and showing his background, which is very unique. So I got a feeling somewhere in there we're going to see some really interesting ties into his character, why he's so good, and then obviously what ties him to getting found by Batista and his crew, because there's got to be something there. Plus, we're going to see the animated prequel that I think that we're going to see Batista and his crew fighting the zombies before this heist movie. So we'll probably get some stuff in there as well, as far as hints of, if they are actually going to include time travel in this. It's possible. It's quite possible, which means we could honestly, if we're talking about time travel and, um, doing time loops or whatever you want to call it, we could see any one of these characters honestly in a sequel, which is just mind blowing in itself. We could see Scott Ward's character come back somehow, some way. So we'll see. Um, yes, yes, Swag fan. This is more than just a zombie movie. This is all part of Zack Snyder's crazy mind. I mean, just look at how wild his Justice League version is compared to the one that we saw in theaters. Um, so many different added unique things. And speaking of Justice League, one very interesting little Easter egg that they did throw in here when they finally get to the vault, you see the film canisters of the Snyder cut in the vault, along with the golden machine guns of Jokers in the opposite corner. In the opposite corner. So does that mean that this is kind of like his own little version of like a Suicide Squad? Just kind of weird, you know. Um, so yeah, there's all sorts of, and I'm not going to go through all the tons of different Easter eggs there are out there. The videos are out there. So many more people talked about so many more than me. I mean, I watched a bunch of them, so I'm discussing them here because I learned from other people seeing certain things that I missed. But seeing so many different things that I watched it a second time. So yeah, by all means, folks, um, watch it once, watch it twice. I guarantee you're going to see more unique things the second time around you do watch this, because there are a lot of different details that you missed the first time, especially after looking on YouTube, doing a little research, seeing what other people found, like, oh, there's this, oh, there's that. Um, this is just a really fun um, new start of a Zack Snyder series, because we're not getting any sequels of the Snyder cuts from the DC universe. We're not getting that. So we're getting something completely different from Zack Snyder that we have something to look forward to if you're a heist fan, if a heist movie fan, if you're a zombie some kind of zombie universe fan or sci-fi universe fan. Um, this contains all of that, which just man, I'm just sinking my teeth into this. This is so unique and so out of this, literally out of this world. So I can't wait to see what the animated series brings. And we are getting a lot of these same characters back to reprise their roles, obviously through voice. So that'll be great to see. I think I am going to be covering that. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm also planning on reviewing um, Dieter's movie that's a prequel to this. His was it called Heist of the Dead or something like that? It's called Heist of the Dead, I believe. Um, so we'll see how he ties into all this and gets to where he is now through that prequel as well. And I can't wait. Once we see all that, by the time we're done getting all that, hopefully we will get a proper sequel, a part 3 or 4, whatever you want to call it, to all this. Can't wait. And on top of that, like I said earlier in the review, go hit that link up to get your Smash This Podcast merch. I tell you what I really want to see is some official Army of the Dead merch. Um, I've seen a bunch of sites, selling posters and T-shirts that are just rip-offs from pictures that you see online. but I haven't seen any like really official merch. And I'm really hoping that this becomes popular enough that we get some, because man, I would kill to get me a Batista Army of the Dead figure with the guns, or a Vanderhoof figure with the saw, or a Zeus with the horse. I mean, that would be just incredible. Can't wait for that. So, um, so we're going to wrap this up. I didn't want to do this as long as I did, but that's okay. There's a lot to break down in this movie. It's not just, people versus the dead. If it was, this would be like a 5-minute review, but it's not. It's Zack Snyder. Enough said. So thanks for joining for this. On your way out, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Give the Twitch a follow, sub. You can cheer bits. You can do all that stuff. And yeah, this is, I know I don't review a lot of movies and series and stuff like that, but this is one I'm absolutely going to check out. I'm all in on this. And so yeah, and make sure you check out the link in the description for the merch. Get yourself 20% off Smash This Podcast merch. That is through the 28th for a Memorial Day sale. Make sure you have a safe weekend. I'll be back tomorrow night over that other little podcast called Total Nonstop Impact for Impact Wrestling stuff. And then I'll be covering Double or Nothing this weekend, all the AEW stuff, Friday into this weekend. So much love, everyone. We're going to get out of here. Looks like my connection's getting wonky. But all right. We'll see you guys real soon. We'll see you tomorrow night over on TNI. Thanks much for tuning in. So yeah, if you have not seen this movie yet, by all means, go check it out. Take care.